The accidental adversaries structure is one where two or more parties should be essentially promoting the reinforcing growth of each other's success end up doing things that unintentionally derail each other's success so that collectively they accomplish far less than they could or should. This structure starts out as a standard reinforcing loop where the A's success promotes a set of activity towards B, which creates B's success, and B then creates a set of activity towards A that promotes A's success, and the structure should promote reinforcing growth. What happens, though, is that B realizes that there are certain aspects of their business that need to be fixed, so they focus on fixing those aspects to improve their own business. And A does the same thing on an ongoing basis, which would be all well and good, except that what happens is that B's fixes end up creating an obstruction for A, and A's fixes end up creating an obstruction for B, so that the things that B does to fix their business create an impediment to A's success, and the things that A does to fix their business creates an impediment for B's success. Now, if I implement this as a stock and flow simulation diagram, I've implemented it straight away with the only addition being an on-off switch to actually configure the fixes in and out of the simulation. There are a number of underlying assumptions that I've attached to each one of the elements, and I haven't put them in flows because it would just make the diagram too confusing and probably detract from looking at the actual relationships. So if I take this and I don't configure the fixes into the mix, and I start with A and B having different success levels, you can see that it produces the typical exponential growth curve. And one is growing faster than the other because they started in different places. Now, if I go ahead and turn the fixes on and run it with the same initial successes, you notice that very quickly both organizations end up investing all of their energy in fixes, while both of their results continue to get worse, and they actually end up going out of business, probably further back here than over here. So I would encourage you to go ahead and interact with this structure, use different values of success of A and B, and also look at the underlying assumptions that I built into the flows and the activity levels, and just develop a sense of how this behavior offsets itself. There are essentially three different ways that individuals or organizations who find themselves in this predicament can deal with it. They can realize that they're actually being each other's own worst enemies, and stop doing things that derail their partners, or they can stop pretending to be collaborators and just compete with each other, or they can figure out how to do fixes that don't derail their collaborators. So in the examples that I've attached as references for this lecture in the Systems Archetypes course, one is self-defeating action, which is a variant of the structure wherein the relationship between the activity of each individual, it's a reinforcing structure where rather than a balancing structure, the thing is that success sort of promotes success, so that Ed's success promotes Ed's activity towards promoting more of Ed's success, rather than fixes. In other words, it's sort of drunk on his own success, and Amy has the same problem in that because she is successful, and she likes being successful. She does more things to promote her own success. And those self-promotion activities, in fact, derail each other. The sales and service of marriage made in hell is a situation that I've actually seen multiple times, where the sales organization should, in fact, position the services organization for success, and the service organization should position the customer for future success of the sales organization. Though what happens is that the sales organization, in an attempt to promote their own success and make the sale, ends up giving away services business, so services loses revenue, and then despises the sales organization and doesn't promote or doesn't set up the customer for additional future sales because they're not interested in helping the sales organization. So they end up being each other's own worst enemies, where they could in fact do things that would promote the success of each other on an ongoing basis. The same situation seems to happen within organizations on an ongoing basis, where the organization should act toward an employee to promote employee's success, and the employee should act toward the organization in a way that promotes the company's success. Though the company, even though organizations continue to say that our employees are our greatest asset, how often do they actually treat them that way? So the company's activity in terms of promoting their own success has a tendency to derail the success of their employees, and employees' activity to promote their own success ends up having a negative impact on the success of the company itself. And I can't imagine that you haven't seen this one place or another. So those are the three examples that are provided as references for this lecture in the Systems Adversaries course. I would advise that you access this model and interact with it on an ongoing basis, and just develop a better sense of how changing the parameters influences the effect of the structure overall. So hope you found this informative, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.